What's this bullshit about passive income? Now, let me share with you what is passive income all about. On a scale of 1 to 100, right, any product or service that you might sell, right, either you are in property business or any other business, doesn't really matter. Let's say you're in property business, right? Passive income is on a scale of 1 to 100, right? If you're completely active in the property game, like let's say you take on a project, you project manage it yourself, that's your active income, right? But let's say now you take on a block of flats or a hotel, and then you put a manager on it, and then you just oversee it. So on a scale of 1 to 100, now you could be managing 10%, and the manager could be managing the 90%. That's 10% of your active income. 90% is being passively managed, right? Now let's say it's a block of flats and you rented it all here. Let's say it's a block of 50 flats that you took on lease, or you took on a rent-to-rent basis, or you just bought it. It doesn't really matter which aspect, how you're managing it. But let's say you put a manager on and he is managing 99%, right? All systems in place, all money controlled, all bills controlled, everything is controlled, used as Airbnb or short-term stay, and everything in place to control every aspect of it. Either it is marketing, sales, money, operations, maintenance, dealing with all the stakeholders, that's landlords and everything else. All of it is managed by the manager who's managing it, and then the manager reports everything back to you, right? So in that case, the manager is managing 99% and you're only managing 1%. So it's only 1% active and 99% passive for you, right? Now it could be everything in the middle, right? A manager could manage 50% for you. You could be managing 50% or any proportion of it, right? But if, let's say, you get to a point where, or when not if, but when you get to a point where you buy a hotel or you buy a block of flats, whatever it is, like you've built some wealth, you've done some really good deals, mega deals, and you've now, let's say, for example, the one we have, one of the deals that we have at the back of that is we have a freehold hotel all paid off. We've leased it out for £47,000 a year. That's completely passive, like literally completely passive. All we do is we get rental at the end of the month, and there's absolutely no involvement because it's an FRI lease. So we have absolutely zero involvement at all. This is what you call completely passive. All we are doing is, in that case, is making sure that the rental is coming in. That's what you call, well, 99.9% passive income, right? So there's a percentage. So irrespective of the strategy that you might be in, so you could be in flips, you could be in developments, you could be in conversions, you could be in planning gain, you could be in hotel space, you could be in rent-to-rent space. It doesn't really matter what space you're in the property, right? You could have your own portfolio being managed by an agent. It doesn't really matter which space you're in, right? Passive income is on a scale of 1 to 100. It's never like completely passive, or it's never completely active, right? It's all everything in the middle. It's all gray area. And the way I do everything is, like, if I'm looking at a deal these days, like the journey that I am on, the stage that I'm on in my journey, I'd only do a deal if it can be at least 90% passive, right? I can only be involved, a certain hours in a month, which means that I want to make sure that I don't invest any more than 10% like active, and then 90% it has to be passive. So there has to be a manager in place, there has to be a project manager. If I'm doing a development deal, if let's say it's a planning gain, there are other people who are, the work is delegated to. If, for example, I'm managing a hotel, the work is being managed by the manager. We are in the middle of buying 14 flats as we speak, holiday let flats. It's under legals, and I'm looking to put a manager on top, so it will be 90% plus passive, and then I'll only be involved anywhere between sort of 1 to 10%, which will be my active involvement into the project, right? So it's really all understanding how passive something can be. Nothing ever is completely passive. Like, even if you buy something, you rent it out, you still have to make sure that the rental is coming in. That means it can be 99.9% passive, but you're still involved in making sure that the rental is coming in, there's no issues with the tenant, and so on and so forth, right? If the tenant leaves, you have to find another tenant, and so on and so forth. So it's on a scale of 1 to 100, but never completely passive. But you can make a lot of things very, very passive, allowing you more time freedom, allowing you to make more money, smart money at the back of that. Also travel and spend time with your loved ones, and so on and so forth. That's entirely up to you. But really, every time you look at something, a product, service, anything that you're working on, you want to make sure that how actively you will be involved in the deal, and how passive you can potentially make it, maybe bring a project manager, maybe bring a manager to manage the deal, and so on and so forth. So yeah, I just wanted to come and share this. So bullshit about how passive, how active, but you have to be very, very conscious about this, right? Because it's never ever completely passive. It's on a scale of 1 to 100, depending on how consciously or how conscious you are, making sure that you save your time and delegate as much as possible. So yeah, have an absolutely amazing day. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, because the more you do, the more it allows us to keep the premium content for absolutely free and help us share the deeper and amazing experiences of our business and life share with you. Make sure you click on the bell button so you get notifications as well. And like I said, this will all help you create a phenomenal business and an amazing life at the back of that.